More FANG fallout today. Check out the losses in Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, and Alphabet. Netflix leading the pack lower, down more than 6%. Even uglier, these big tech stocks have seen hundreds of billions of dollars in market cap losses since their 52-week high. So
it's really kind of depressing. It would be nice to cheer ourselves up.
Perfect game here. Trade it or fade it. FANG style. Guy's not here, so we don't have to explain any rules. Get right to it. Dan. Facebook, trade it or fade it?
Yeah, I think we're getting close to fading this one, or excuse me, trading it. It has nothing to do with that buyback. I think that when you think about this, we know what's happened here. I know, Tim, you got a few op-eds over there at CNBC.com.
I don't know
read all about it, but I think expectations have come down very dramatically for next year. At least we have some sort of earnings expectations that are flat year over year because of the spend that they're going to have to do. We don't know about regulatory or further regulatory costs, but estimates for sales growth are still 24% year over year. That's kind of astounding. And if the earnings expectations are too dire, this thing is way too cheap.
But think of an Apple. Think of where expectations went, and think about the change in their business, which I would argue is, I know it's apples and oranges, except for the fact that Facebook, we talk about Instagram, we talk about these other businesses that aren't really in the price. That's great. Instagram will grow, but you tell me that core business isn't going to contract? And I'm talking about advertisers that are not willing to pay the premium.
It is contracting. So they've been growing 30, 40% for the last few years. Next year, they're supposed to grow sales 24%.
But you think the bar is low?
I do when you think about the fact that they have over 1 billion WhatsApp users that are yet to be monetized. I just think there's stuff to be done there.
Well, I thought actually yesterday Facebook was really interesting. There were some very terrible articles, really read really poorly, and yet the stock, even in that terrible day, even when the market was really getting crushed, I thought it hung in there pretty well. That only goes to the sentiment, which I think is pretty washed out.
All right, let's move on to Amazon. See Grasso, trade it or fade it?
So this one got tied up in that value versus growth, and I think it's still there, and it still has a lot of room to fall. So it's up 40% year to date, and I think that is relevant because if they come for these, I love how they did that.
They are right on it.
If they come for these, there's still a lot more fat to cut from Amazon.
Yeah.
See, I'd actually trade it, and while Steve is pointing out that the stock could go to 1,500. Certainly, that's the past level it has to trade through. But if we were rewarding high multiple stocks that were in the pole position, and disruption at Amazon is something that we talk about every night on the show. Nothing has changed for these guys. I think they're going to have a good holiday season.
Whoa. Something did change when they reported their Q3 and they guided Q4
lower.
Down. Their revenues down about 5%. Well, listen. You just said in the A block, we're going to get earnings soon. And if they confirm, if they miss that lower guidance and then guide down again.
But the market priced that in, didn't they? I mean, we all heard that.
The stock's up 10% from the lows just 2 weeks ago, Tim.
But again, the stock was bulletproof until that announcement. It got priced in.
Just say it, Dan.
I mean,
what are you doing? Trade or fade it? Say it.
Fade it.
Move on.
Just play the game.
You fade it.
All right, we got to move on here. Netflix, Karen, trade it or fade it? Netflix.
I got to fade it. I mean, love the product, but on valuation, it is an air pocket below to get to something that I could even come close to.
Any traders of Netflix?
I'm a faded. I'm a faded.
No.
I mean, I've never traded this thing in my life.
Once we get back to growth being bought, once we get back to these are the tech stocks that took the market up. It's still a fade.
Wow, fade across the board there. All right, last but not least, Alphabet. Tim, trade it or fade it?
Look, the reason you might fade this are regulatory reasons. You trade this for everything else. This is a company that's core business is alive and well, are actually seeing their tech costs are under control. I think they've got multiple billion-dollar businesses that are unmonetized. I think YouTube is a juggernaut. I love the valuation. I don't like the regulatory environment. I trade it.
Are you just disregarding everything that these companies told you when they reported last quarter? Their tax costs were not under control. That's why the stock sold off.
If we had more time, we split you guys up, but we got to move on. The one stock we didn't get to, Apple. So for more on Apple and the tech fallout, you can head over to tradingnation.cnbc.com.